Hey guys, this is the Therapist Gamer here. Welcome back to the Mental Health and Gaming channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at what is a healthy amount of gaming. There's two questions that I often get asked as a part of my therapy practice, and those two questions often come from parents. And one of those questions is, how much gaming is too much gaming? These questions usually come from parents of kids that aren't necessarily opposed to gaming, and they may actually be gamers themselves, but they may be having some concerns that their child or young adult may be gaming too much. Another question that I'll often get from gamers themselves is, what's a healthy amount of gaming? In other words, how much gaming should I be doing? Gamers may ask that question, but they're actually less likely to do so than parents. This is probably due to concerns about fears that this hobby that they are experiencing or taking part in and that they love so much can be used excessively, can be problematic. We're going to take a look at the answer to that question today. What's a healthy amount of gaming, or how much gaming is too much gaming? I think there are three primary components that have to be considered when asking about a healthy amount of gaming. The first component is the most obvious one, and that's age. What might be a healthy amount of gaming for a 16-year-old might not be healthy for a 6-year-old or a 26-year-old. In general, I suggest that younger kids should be limited in their gaming time until around middle school age or so, an hour or so per day at the very most. The reason I recommend what may sound like a pretty small amount of time is that I believe young kids need imaginative, creative play in order to develop healthy coping skills and worldviews. In my experience, most gaming is only minimally imaginative and it's rarely creative. I'm starting to see patterns in kids that have been heavy gamers from a young age, and in general, many of these behavior patterns seem to fall towards the unhealthy side of things. School-age kids can usually handle a bit more gaming, since their intellectual and emotional development is more complete. The second component that we have to consider when asking the question of how much gaming is too much is the question of emotional maturity. For the most part, I consider video gaming to be a mature hobby and pastime. We learn lessons from games that often can't be applied to real life, and I want to know that a person is capable of understanding that games don't work the same way the world does. If a parent has concerns about the maturity level of their kids, then those kids may not be able to handle as much gaming as the child that has displayed solid maturity levels. I usually suggest this litmus test as a determiner of the maturity level of a child. If your child has a tantrum when they are told to turn off the game and go to bed or do their homework, they are probably gaming at a level that's higher than their maturity level. Temper tantrums are a sign of lower emotional maturity. Also bear in mind that emotional maturity changes according to our overall moods and stress levels. We actually become less mature when we're under stress. So while I might be able to handle large amounts of gaming when times are good, I might not be able to handle as much gaming in a healthy manner when times are tough. Finally, the third component that has to be examined when asking the question of how much gaming is too much is, does it get in the way? If gaming is interfering with other necessary things that we have to do in life, then it may be too much. A sign of health is a person's ability to balance the challenges and stresses of life with the things that we want to do. If you are able to manage to keep up with your work, with your time with friends and family, with school, with all your other responsibilities and still game, then your gaming is probably at a relatively healthy level. If your grades are suffering or your performance at work is going down, if your loved ones are complaining that you are too consumed with your gaming, then you may be gaming at an unhealthy level. In short, the answer to how much gaming is too much is going to be very different for everyone. Some people can game for several hours a day and continue to balance out the other have-tos in their life, while others may be able to only game for short periods of time and still remain healthy. You have to constantly be asking yourself, is my gaming getting in the way? Am I starting to face consequences because of my gaming? If the answer to that question is yes, then you may be gaming too much. In short, there's no cut and dry answers here, but you have to be your own best judge. But you also have to include the perceptions of the other people around you, particularly the people that care about you the most. Gaming is an incredible hobby and pastime, but it's also one that can get overused and used at an unhealthy level. This has been The Therapist Gamer. I appreciate everyone listening. Please like or subscribe, and I will talk to you guys again next time. Thanks a lot. Goodbye.